We've dealt with output or printing. What I want to do now is perform some input from the keyboard. We could do it from a file, but we're going to look at it from a keyboard perspective. And I'm going to do something strange. Normally when we program this in Python, we sort of shortcut what we do. But to match other languages, I'm going to take a longer route to actually do the job. So what I'm going to do is delete this little line here. If I can get hold of it. No, can't seem to get hold of the line. Keep putting one in. Come on. Let's stretch it a bit and then we'll see it a bit clearer. There we go. Whoops, deleted the wrong thing. Okay, getting close to the point where I'm going to give up on this one. There we go, got it. Right, so instead of setting name to Bob, I'm going to read that from the keyboard. So I'm actually going to set the name to be the empty string. Okay, so I'm just going to have a variable called name. I'm going to read the name from the keyboard and then I'm going to print the name to the screen. So normally we would not set the first one. We would not do this. But this is called initialization and it's quite useful. It's a feature that is sort of needed in other languages, but not necessarily Python. In Python, we just input straight to name and then print it out. Just 2 lines. I'm going to increase this to 3. So I'm going to use this box again, but this time I'm going to treat it as input. And I'm going to say input and name. Now, in other languages, or any language really, we would have more than one statement here. So this is going to be quite difficult to do the pseudocode for and get it accurate for all languages. But bear with me. So let's join these together with a line. Oops, to show the process. Failing miserably here. It's because I haven't really got much space between them. There we go. Job done. Let's stretch this one out a bit more. So there is our flowchart. Set name to the empty string. You might want to write empty string. Input name. Normally you'd have a message like please enter your name. That will appear in the pseudocode, but not in the flowchart. And then we print the name to the screen. So let's hop over to the pseudocode and manage that. So our first line is to actually set name to be the empty string. Then I want to get the value name from the keyboard, so I use the word input, and if we hop over to the specification, this is the line that we're playing around with. Name equals input, please enter your name. So name equals input in brackets, please enter your name, and then we're going to keep print name. So this was an extra line of code that I really didn't need to do this box here. I could have just used input name, output name, and that would have been fine. I'm just adding it in so that you can see a little bit more code, how it's worked, and like I said, in other languages you are declaring variables before you sort of initialize them. So now we need to create this in Python. So if we hop over to Python, now 2.7 versus 3 handle input differently. This is a string, so we need to use raw underscore input. So this name equals input in Python is going to translate into name equals raw underscore input, and then the message, please enter your name. And as with the pseudocode, name and the next character along is the quote mark. It would be a lot better if we put a space at the end so that the flashing cursor on the screen is not butted up right next to it, forcing you to press the space bar and actually get it wrong. So oops, moving NetBeans. Let's go back to Python. So please enter your name, space, and then end the bracket, and that is our statement. This matches my pseudocode. Take a look carefully how it's worked out and what is different. Not a great deal. Take a look at the flowchart, how that makes the pseudocode and how that works with Python. So let's run this. Save the source, and we'll please enter your name. We're going to type Bob, and Bob is printed out. So that's design, pseudocode, and Python for the output diagram.